Hiring an affiliate manager is a big step for any company. It could be the catalyst to massive growth if you do it the right way. Now, there's a lot of mistakes to avoid. There's things to look out for, and there's best practices from beginning to end. Today, I'm going to walk you through the entire process. So, when should you hire an affiliate manager? Who should you be looking for as an affiliate manager? Where can you find the right person for this job? And how can you make sure that they're a good fit? Welcome to the Affiliate Guy podcast. If you want to grow your income, serve your tribe, and enjoy all the benefits of affiliate marketing and having your own affiliates, you're in the right place. Thanks for joining me today. Let's get started. So today we're talking about how to hire an affiliate manager. And I talked about this just 7 episodes ago. I talked about the worst part of my entire business and why I hired an affiliate manager. And if you want to go back and listen to that, it's episode 481, the worst part of my entire business. And I shared a little bit about the process. Today, I'm going to share our process, like in full, for hiring an affiliate manager. And the thing is, it doesn't have to be as strenuous as what I'm going to share today. If you want to do it the easy way, we'll talk about that and we'll kind of go through that. But I shared this live a few weeks ago, but I'm going to dive a little bit more in detail today. First of all, when is the right time to hire someone? Secondly, who should you be looking for? Third, where can you find the right person? And then fourth, how do you make sure that they're actually a good fit for your team, for your company? So we're going to start with the when. When should you hire an affiliate manager? These are some general guidelines. These are not meant to be perfect. These are contingent upon some things like your profit margins and things like that. But generally, if you're under 200,000, even under 300,000 in annual revenue, you definitely don't want to be hiring an affiliate manager, okay? You need to be doing it yourself. In fact, if your margins are low, if you're in a world where you might only have like 5, 10, even upwards of 20% margins, and your revenue's under $500,000, even upwards of $1 million, you need to be doing it yourself. Now, you can use a VA, you can use someone else on the team to help, but you manage the program yourself. So when I started my first affiliate program back in 2005, it was just me. I scaled that to about $1 million a month, a little bit over $1 million a month in about 18 months. I've shared that story many times. Right around the point where we hit about $250,000, we hired a virtual assistant to help me. This was a virtual assistant that we had working at that time, I think 10 hours a week. And we were paying, I don't know, we'll say back then, this is 2005. So probably $15 an hour. So we were paying like $600 a month. And then we doubled the hours and paid like $1,200 a month or whatever. And then I think we doubled the hours again to basically full time. But this is somebody that I think we paid like less than $3,000 a month to. And again, this is back in 2005. So add on, I don't know, inflation right now is like 1,000,000%. So whatever, but add on $10,000. You might go overseas, it doesn't matter whether or not you go overseas in the US or in your country, whatever. The cost is irrelevant. They're typically not making 6 figures is my point, right? And so you can do this with the help of somebody like that. And that's what I did. We had a part-time VA that in a few months later went to like a half-time PA and then a full-time VA. And so we scaled from there as we grew that revenue. But with even at, paying that person $30,000 a year, we built this into $1 million a month affiliate program. Now, don't get me wrong. There's going to be a day when you're going to hire someone, and that's what we want to talk about. But it does pay to know the things that we talk about yourself anyway. So if you start off running it yourself, right, when you start off running the program yourself, you learn the things that you need to know over time. You learn the ability to work with partners, which will help you to manage your affiliate manager better. Because that's going to be someone that's going to report to you probably directly, at least in your first 25 employees. Eventually, you might have like a CMO and this affiliate manager will report to them. But when you're under 25, even under probably 40 employees, your affiliate manager, if you're doing it right, will account for at least 25% of your company's sales, probably higher. And I don't know about you, but anybody on my team who is accounting for more than 25% of sales is reporting to me directly. So early on, run it yourself. Over time, make sure you're involved. Early on, you're going to be the one doing all of the work, But then even over time, you're going to still need to know how to do this stuff and work closely with your affiliate manager. So initially, you don't have to hire someone to run your affiliate program, okay? There are problems I won't get into. I talked about them in the live lesson I did a few weeks ago about it. I'm not going to get into those. There are problems that you have with hiring an affiliate manager too early on. So the question is, when should you hire an affiliate manager? Again, somewhere around $300,000 in revenue or about maybe $200,000 in gross profits or net revenue, however you want to look at it. That's a good time to consider bringing on at least a part-time affiliate manager, someone who's either part-time with the company or they have other roles inside the company. That's another option. You might have somebody, they already are running your customer service and they're going to handle customer service and affiliates, or they're going to handle your pay-per-click marketing and your affiliates. And so you might hire someone internally to come in and start doing multiple things. You might outsource it. We'll talk about that. You might train someone who's already internally. Once you hit about $500,000 plus, might be 600, 700 in revenue, or roughly 350, 400,000 in net revenue, upwards of $500,000. That's when you probably want a full-time affiliate manager. So those are general guidelines. Like I said, those depend on things like price points and profit margins, other costs, other team expenses. So again, you're going to go from running it yourself to having somebody part-time or who's splitting their time to basically full-time, which might be outsourcing. You might be outsourcing to an agency. So who should you be looking for? Okay, so we talked about the when. What's the who here? At first, it's you. It's you. Now, you're listening to an episode about how to hire an affiliate manager, and you're probably thinking, all right, well, I think I'm at that point where at least I want to start thinking about it not being me. Maybe you're doing $150,000 a year in sales, and you're starting to get that point where you're a little bit busy with all the other responsibilities in the company. I know that when we hit for us, it was about $250,000. We hit about $250,000, this back like 2016, 17 in this business. It got to the point where I just could not do it myself. And going back 2 businesses ago, that was about when we brought on a part-time VA. I was the affiliate manager, but that was not going to change. That was not really an option back then because there weren't any good affiliate managers out there back then. This is 17 years ago. I'm not saying I was inventing it. There were other affiliate managers, but there just weren't very many. And there certainly weren't very many good ones 17 years ago that we would have hired. And so that wasn't an option. But if you are at that option, the big question that you've got to decide early on, am I going internal or am I going outsourced? Am I going to hire someone internally or outsource it? And you might think that I'm biased. Wow, Matt, you run an affiliate management agency. Clearly you are biased to outsourcing. I'm actually not. I had 2 phone calls this week, 2 people in very different situations. We'll talk about this. One of them, I said, I would not hire our agency, and here's why. I explained they need somebody in-house. The other company, I said, actually, you would benefit from hiring us. There's a lot of positives both ways. The positives to an in-house affiliate manager are pretty clear, right? They only work for you. So they're more focused. They report directly to you. You can get them to do other things if needed. I remember when I worked as a full-time affiliate manager for about 18 months for a company, about once every 2 months, we'd get really busy and I'd be in the back for half a day helping with shipping. I'd be back there loading boxes. You can't get me to do that now. For one, I'm not in your office, I'm not even in the same city as any of our clients. So I am, no offense to any of our clients, but I am not flying to Austin, Texas or Toronto or any of those places. I'm not flying to BC or out to Washington or anywhere like that to ship their stuff. That's just not. It's not worth my time. But you can do that if you hire an in-house affiliate manager and you have an office or they're in the same town, you can get them to do things like that. But even if they're not, if it's not like something like that, you can still say, hey, I know this isn't your main responsibility, but we got this big thing going on. Would you mind doing some customer service stuff for a couple hours a day for the next week? One of our customer service people is out on maternity leave. Could you help out? And they should be willing to do that, of course. I can't do that. When you outsource us, like we're not a full-time team member, I'm sorry. We are team players, but it's hard for us to do stuff like that, especially because we can't get trained properly to do that. So They're more integrated with your team. They learn every little part of your business. Those are big advantages, and I don't want to downplay those. They're absolutely big advantages to having an in-house affiliate manager that I fully acknowledge. Now, the advantages to the outsource side are generally they cost less. I would actually say on average, we cost more. And that's why I recommended to that one person that they not hire us, that they hire somebody in-house and let us coach them. I just said it's just considerably cheaper to hire somebody in-house than us in their particular situation. Now, the investment in us is clearly worth it, but not in their case. I didn't feel like the benefits outweighed the downsides. But generally speaking, an outsourced company will cost a little bit less. They're also more willing to make most of their money from commissions. We make 80% of our money from commissions, / bonuses, however you want to refer to them. So people pay us a retainer, but then we take a percentage of the upside. So if we help you grow your affiliate program from, say, $1 million to $5 million, we make a lot of money on that $4 million. Now, you make a lot more money, but we make a lot of money there. That's where the majority of our money is made. An employee is not usually willing to work like that. That's a hard sell. In fact, in some states, it's illegal to pay them as little as we get paid. We have a team and we make less per month in quote unquote salary than a team member would. All right, just to be clear. And in some states, it's illegal to pay people like that. There's a few. It's not many, but there are a few. Third, outsourced managers are going to have more pre-existing contacts. We have a database of more than 5,000 affiliates. To be clear, that's 5,000 very weeded out affiliates. Like there's probably 1,500 of those that have made more than $2,000 in commissions. You only have to get a fraction of those. You get 20 of those, we get 20 of those for you. You have a $500,000 launch. That's if you just get 20. You might even be $1 million launch. We're constantly tapping into our network. I had literally just yesterday had a DM conversation on Facebook with an affiliate, somebody that I've known for years. He was actually our top affiliate for a couple of years, I believe, for our stuff. And he's promoting a client right now. And I DM'd him and said, hey, how are blah, 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 how are things going? I sent him kind of a funny message about something. And he was like, hey, by the way, while I've got you, I know you're the guy, like you run all the big launches. Who you got coming up? And I said, we got this coming up. You should be in. He's like, I'm in. Signed up right then. Boom. We just added, $150,000 to $250,000 to the bottom line of that launch. It's hard to get that in-house because all they do is your stuff. And that's one of the big pros. The outsourced people, we have varied experiences across dozens of niches. We work, for example, we run launches in the pet space. We run online marketing launches. We run health and fitness, personal growth, price points. We run stuff for entrepreneurs and non-entrepreneurs and all this stuff. Price points ranging from $47 products up to $5,000 plus products. So you get that experience in it and you learn stuff. And then the third thing is, or the fifth thing, I guess, not the third, is that outsourced managers know the industry. Like, for instance, we know the industry. I know what works. My team knows what works. We have a playbook and we execute that playbook. Now, we innovate, but the reality is we can execute that playbook and we can, quite frankly, do this in our sleep. So, if you hire us and your last launch was $500,000, we can run a $1.25 million launch in our sleep based on the things that I shared. Now, we're not going to do it in our sleep. We're going to go all out for you and hopefully do a $2.25 million launch. But we can get you serious growth, barely even wake up. Now, that's a con. The con is that we have a playbook that we can do it in our sleep. And that can be a bad thing. It's because if we're not careful, we'll run client C's launch just like we ran client B's launch, just like we ran client A's launch. And it becomes kind of redundant and old hat. And so that can be a problem. Now, we make sure that that's not part of our culture, though. I always think of Southwest Airlines, right? Southwest Airlines, when they first got started, they refused to hire flight attendants from American and from Delta and other airlines. They didn't want them. They went out and they hired waitresses. They hired people who sold cell phones. I don't know if they had cell phones back then. People who did like various things, right? Because they wanted to train them in the Southwest way. They wanted to train them in their unique way and teach them the industry. And that's one of the reasons why we'll talk about this when we hire like our affiliate managers. I don't want to hire people with affiliate management experience. That's just, I don't want to. And so one of the last things I would say, and it's kind of one of those pros and cons mixed in one. we work with a lot of clients in various fields. And so, well, the pro side is, like I just said, we get all these different things. We get these different experiences. And I might be in the same day, I might be working on a pet client and a health and fitness client. I might be working on an audience that's a young audience and then an old audience, a low price point, $20 a month, and then a $2,000 product, an evergreen product, and then a launch, right? All over the place. Super busy though. That's the downside. Super busy. Again, the pro and the con, it's like, which one's the one that's going to have the bigger impact? And I believe that the pros outweigh the cons there personally, but not for everyone. So if you're looking to hire internally, I want to share what you need to look for here. And so this is a little bit of the who, of course. Number one thing is always cultural fit. You can't have an affiliate manager. This is if you hire internally and if you outsource. You have to have cultural fit. Do they fit your team? If they don't, it's a no-go. The second thing you're looking for is those skills and attitude, not the knowledge, right? I just talked about this. There's a reason why Southwest didn't hire other airline flight attendants. They didn't want somebody coming on and going, well, at Delta, we did it this way. Herb Kelleher is like, I don't care what you did at Delta. We're Southwest. We do it the Southwest way. You can hire us. We can train them in the knowledge, okay? If you go to youraffiliatelaunchcoach.com, we can train them in how to actually run an affiliate program. But those skills, and they're being a people person. They have a basic understanding of marketing. They have maybe some sales experience or customer service. They maybe have promoted some affiliate stuff on their own. They have their own blog, their own YouTube channel, their own podcast. Do they have the attitude? Like you just talk to them and they're a people person. You cannot be a good affiliate manager and not be at least, a little bit of a people person. Doesn't mean you have to be an extrovert. I'm actually an introvert, okay? But when I get on the phone with somebody, I can carry a conversation. You can't have a jerk. You cannot hire a jerk as an affiliate manager. So they have those skills and the attitude. Maybe they're like, yeah, I don't really know what cookies are. I teach that. I don't really know how to find affiliates. Great. We have a course for that. We have a coaching program for that. We can teach that. But do they have the skills and the attitude? Previous experience is a little bit of a plus, but not required. If they've got some existing connections, that's a plus, but not required too. And then number 5 thing, it goes back to the number 1 thing, that culture fit. Are they a true believer in what you're doing? This is why we love hiring people from our audience. They are true believers. So do they truly believe your product is amazing or your products are amazing? And they want to support that. Now, if you're outsourcing, again, number 1's the cultural fit, right? Do you just get along with them? Did you enjoy your calls with them? Do they show up on time? Do they follow up with emails that make you go, oh, that's a really well-written email? Or are they writing emails and you're going, golly, what is wrong with this person? Number 2, do they have a track record? We work with Stu McLaren and Ryan Levesque. We've worked with Michael Hyatt. We've run affiliate programs for Adidas and Shutterfly, Jeff Goins, Lewis House, Brian Tracy, the list goes on and on. But also we work with companies like the Dog Gurus. We've worked with companies in the supplement space and in the different health and fitness spaces. We're working with Jamie Brinkus on a big, affiliate program launch coming up here soon. All of these things, right? We're working with all these different clients. So we have the track record of helping companies to grow. There's a reason why people keep hiring us and why people keep calling us. Like I've said it many times, we turn away roughly 19 out of 20 people that reach out to us. We have a good track record. Do they have an understanding of your niche? Now, do they need to understand everything about it? No. Do they have a basic understanding? Yes. Are they willing to learn? That was the thing. The pet niche, I did not sign up for that. We did not agree to that. And I did not say to them, like, I understand everything about your niche. I'm like, I want a dog. I have a basic understanding, but I need you to spend an hour teaching me. And they taught us. So in a moment, I'm going to talk about the hiring process, right? I want to make sure you get the right person, the right company, whoever that is. As far as where to find the right affiliate manager, that's a big one. I'll go through that real quick. Number 1, referrals. Reach out to your network. Ask if they know anybody. Post on Facebook. Hey, know anybody who might make a good affiliate manager? I mean, that's where all of our hires come from, is either our list or my network. Number 2, just look at who's running other programs. This is more if you're going to outsource, but go follow a couple of big affiliate programs or mid-sized affiliate programs for that matter. See who's running them and then reach out to them and say, hey, do you want to run ours too? Headhunters, you can use agencies that recruit for you. job sites, of course, Google, Google around, see who are the experts, who are the agencies out there. Again, who has a great track record? Who are the affiliate managers, that are winning awards, like Affiliate Manager of the Year? I've won it 4 times, so you might find me on there. But who are the agencies winning it? Our agency's never won it because we don't ever go. We've never gone for that, quite frankly. But even if we had, honestly, I think there are some agencies that on a macro level are better than ours. They might not be better on a client by client level, but they're better. They work with 40 or 50 companies. We choose to keep things a little bit smaller. We'll work with probably 10 to 15 companies over the next year. That's just us, though. Doesn't mean that their model's wrong. That's just the model that we choose. But if you Google around, you should be able to kind of sift through the wheat from the chaff, so to speak. Look at your team. Is there somebody on your team that's just amazing at customer service or they're amazing at sales and you're like, man, I should approach them about being our affiliate manager. The 7th way you can find somebody, where to look here, is go to your audience. Now, this is my favorite way because you're going to hit all those things, right? They're true believers. There's probably a good cultural fit. They're likely to be able to really connect with your customers who would be your best affiliates because they are a customer. There's somebody that follows you. They're a fan. What better place can you possibly think of to find an affiliate manager, someone to represent you? So you've got through, when, right? We know the when. When should you hire an affiliate manager? We've talked through that, right? We've talked about the who. Who should you be looking for? Where can you find the right person? Now, the last part of this is how do you make sure that it's not about finding the right fit necessarily, but how do you make sure that you kind of weed through these people? Because maybe you've got multiple applicants, right? I'm going to explain how we do it. Okay, this is not necessarily to say you should do it this way. And I'm not recommending that you take as long as we do, but this is kind of our thing. We hire affiliate managers and they represent our clients. And so the price for us messing up is pretty steep. So we want to make sure that we get it right. All right. We want to make sure that we get it right. Now, the big thing is that you've got to have that cultural fit and you've got to have the skills and the knowledge, or the skills and the attitude, not necessarily the knowledge. You definitely want true believers. All right. So what we do, I'll walk you through this process, and it's evolved a little bit. Like our first round, we didn't do some of this. What we do is actually host a training. We do a 6-week training 2 times a week, and you come to the training, and in between each of the sessions is a quiz or some sort of assignment. This effectively amounts to an extended job interview. Now, I'm saying I'm hiring affiliate managers and I'm an affiliate manager trainer, so I can do that. You probably can't do that. So how do we lengthen this process? How do we take our time hiring? Well, the very first thing I would do is make sure that the application itself is extensive enough that it weeds people out. So if you get 30, 40 people to fill out the application, I'm just going to walk you through our application. We ask their first name, their last name, their email address, their phone number, and all that. Please describe why you want to join Matt McWilliams Consulting Incorporated. What I'm looking for there, first of all, if they thought it out. Number 2, what's their excitement level? Number 3, can they write? You got to be able to communicate. So I want to put that. We ask them questions like, do you have previous experience as an affiliate manager? I don't really care one or the other. It's just good to know. How many affiliate offers have you promoted? Am I going to hold it against them if it's 0? No. Is it better if they're 5 or more? Yeah. Please describe your current job or business. Again, I'm looking more for communication skills. What do you like most about your job or business? I'm looking for their communication skills, but also where do their skill sets lie? What do you like least? Do they whine and moan about their current job? Not a good fit. You can usually rule out like 2 people just based on that answer. Please describe why you would make a good affiliate manager. I just want to know what they think about themselves. And then we ask and we say, the following are open-ended questions with no right or wrong answer. We are simply looking to learn how you process certain situations. So I ask them a couple of open-ended questions. If you're running an affiliate program and you find out that one of your top affiliates is breaking the rules, what would you do first? How would you proceed from there? I'm looking for how they process this situation. Yes, there is a certain right and wrongness to these questions, but it's not black and white. I'm looking for how do they process through that. An affiliate asks you for a special landing page. This is not something you've previously discussed with the client. How would you handle this situation? Again, how do they think through this? If they just say, don't know, wrong answer, you're out. Or I would go to the client. Okay, really? That's all you would do? Is there more to that? And I just go through these different questions. I won't necessarily read all of them. Then it says affiliate program questions. Note, all of these can be found on Matt's website or podcast. We ask 3 questions. What is the ideal cookie length for affiliate programs? What is one of the 3 C's of a successful affiliate program? What is one of the reasons why affiliate programs should work with small affiliates? Here's the deal. To answer those questions, there are right and wrong answers. If you put a wrong answer to the tune of you were ever so slightly off, that's not the issue. If you put, I don't know, that's a problem. Because there are 2 ways to know the answer to these questions. Number 1, you listen to enough of my stuff and you already know. Great. That means you're a fan. You know a lot of my stuff. We're already syncing up. Or 2, you go use the search feature on my site. It's not that hard. And if you're not willing to do that and maybe spend a half hour listening to a couple of podcast episodes to get the right answer to these 3 questions, you're not an ideal candidate. I can rule you out. And we ruled out like 5 or 6 people who just put, I don't know, or couldn't find it. It's really easy to find, actually. I tested it out. Now, granted, I know where they're at, but I tested it out and I had a couple other people on the team test it out. Everybody found the answer to every single one of those questions in less than 15 minutes. And then we just had a few, last minute questions like, a confidentiality thing and stuff like that. And we went through that. The point is, we weeded out, I think we had 52 applicants and we weeded out like 28 of them on the front end. So from there, then I would do a quick phone call. This could be a 10 to 15 minute phone call with each applicant. The objective you're looking for here is to weed out people. You're going into the call from a pessimistic place and you're looking for a reason to weed them out. And that sounds kind of counterintuitive, but I can get it down to like 15 people from there. And then for us, we then put them into the training. But I'm not suggesting you do that. I'm suggesting there, if you weed it down, however many people you got left, now you do a video interview. Do a video interview with the team. Do a video or in-person interview with you and the spouse. Go out to dinner with them. Do something together if possible, kind of as a last thing. But typically we'll get down to, in our case, we got down to 5 people. And then everybody got a test project. So this is actual work. Now, if you're outsourcing, their track record suffices for this, right? But have them do some work. Pay them for it. This is something that we do. We actually have them do a test project or 2. Sometimes they do 2. We'll have them do kind of a small one. It's like, hey, put together a couple of things for this one client. Maybe it's like $200-$300 worth of work. Then we actually had each of them run a segment of a launch. And I won't get into the details on how to do it, but you could actually have them do some actual work that you pay them for. If you're, just as a side note, if you're hiring a writer, pay them to write. That's how we found our copywriter, and he's absolutely amazing. He had already worked for us for 10 hours before I hired him. So if you decide to hire somebody internally, we can help with this process. Just reach out to us at youraffiliatelaunchcoach.com. We can train them. All right, we can train them. But basically, you want to put them through the test project or projects, do that final interview. For big hires, we'll bring people here to Fort Wayne. We'll spend a day with them. We'll literally meet them for breakfast and we'll talk for an hour and a half or 2 and be together. Then we'll go do something. We might just go to a park and just talk for another hour or so. We'll go to lunch and then we'll maybe go play disc golf together. And, okay, how do we get along? Like, is there something we can do together just to talk through things, have dinner, say bye, but like, what is it like to spend 10, 11, 12 hours with this person? Wow, Matt, you take an entire day. I might be spending 1,000 hours with this person over the course of the next 5 years, 5 to 10 years. I think I can find the ability to spend 10 hours with them. Probably not even that long. Actually, it is. Yeah. Usually it's from like 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. by the time dinner's over. I can find that time. And I can get to see how they interact in all kinds of situations. How do they treat the waiters? How do they go about, like, hopefully at some point, something goes wrong with their meal and I get to see how they process that. I've never been one of those people who manufactures that, but it's always kind of an interesting thing. How do they actually do on the test projects? Those are the type of things that we're looking for. So If you want to know more about how we can help if you hire internally or help you, if it's you to start with, youraffiliatelaunchcoach.com. Go there. You can apply for a coaching call there. Our clients get results. Like there's a reason why we work with people like Ultimate Bundles and Julie Solomon and Jeff Walker, but also just everyday entrepreneurs and small businesses. So if you want to hire an agency, you can reach out to us there as well. Take a look at our agency. Right now, we're basically about as close as we can get to being completely booked up but not be. So we're not really looking for new clients, at least for a few months. So we've got a couple lined up for June. And as I'm recording this, it'll go live in May, I believe, May 3rd, 2022. So as of now, we're kind of booked through like July, but we're hiring new affiliate managers using the process that I shared before. So if you're interested, you can go to youraffiliatelaunchcoach.com or reach out to me, matt@mattmcwilliams.com, or text me anytime at 260-217-4619. So you can text me or email me about those things, about hiring us, just like Michael Hyatt and Ryan Levesque, Stu McLaren, Adidas, Shutterfly, so many others have done. Reach out to me that way. So if you have any other questions, not even about that, you're just like, Matt, I love your podcast. I have a question about such and such. Hit me up at 260-217-4619. You can email me anytime there. And then make sure you hit that subscribe button. Next episode, for those of you who already are working with affiliates, we're going to talk about how to create mailing plans for your affiliates. This is something that's made a huge difference in our affiliate management for our clients, for our own stuff. It's huge. Cannot stress enough how important the next episode is. So make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss it. I'll see you then. Thank you so much for listening today. Remember to check out all of our deep dives into affiliate marketing at theaffiliateguide.tv. And if you have a question, ask it at asktheaffiliateguide.com. Who knows? Maybe you even be featured on an upcoming episode. And lastly, if you haven't yet, make sure to leave a rating and review wherever you're listening to this episode. See you soon.